Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the TMNT Ultimates Michelangelo. Now, as you can see that the figure comes in that standard box with a green slipcover showcasing a really cool sewer lid with an image of Michelangelo. Removing the slipcover, we can see that the figure is showcased in your standard window box packaging with that green brick-like motif that we've seen with all the good guys from this line. Turning the box around, we can see more of that brick-like pattern with some awesome graffiti, and if we take a closer look, we can see a short bio for Michelangelo. So if you want to read that bio, go ahead and pause it now. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Michelangelo figure here from Super7. Wow dude, I've just absolutely fallen in love with this line. The turtle figures, the vintage line, is my favorite toy line of all time. And just seeing them updated from Super7 is so cool. I mean, this looks like a vintage Michelangelo. It's so crazy. But I love the addition of like the shell, the texture here. We can see little nicks on there, and you have a little bit of airbrushing on there to, you know, bring out the colors, the detail on the belt, but still got the M on there. I love that. And this buck is obviously reused from all the other turtles. Again, just painted differently. But again, I love the color. I always love the uniqueness, the unique green that we got with Michelangelo. I thought it was such a cool color. And then you got a little bit of airbrushing, a little dark airbrushing in there to bring out the muscles and things like that. But that vintage head is just crazy. I'm going to bring in my vintage Michelangelo here. This is the one that I've had since I was a child. This is my childhood Michelangelo. So I'm really proud of the fact that I actually have a lot of my vintage turtles still. Obviously, they're not in great condition, but these are the ones I've loved forever, man. So here it is, and you can see those side to side with that face with the side smile or whatever he's doing. I think it's so cool, dude. I just love seeing these side by side. Really, really fun. And you turn on the back here, you got that awesome shell. Love the way they do the shells. You can see the scratches on here. You can see I have some of his chucks right here in the little holster, which looks really nice. And yes, I holster them upside down, aka the proper way to holster his chucks. I don't care what anybody says, that's how you properly holster Michelangelo's chucks. So go ahead and at me in the comments. Totally fine with it. I can defend myself. So that's really cool, man. So I just love the way this looks. So super happy about this. Okay, so now let's talk accessories. Much like the other turtles, we get a lot of the same things. So we got different types of hands, gripping hands, open palm hands, all kinds of stuff like that. We also do get a lot of those same weapons we've seen with the other turtles. You know, so you got like this hand spike weapon thing here. You got like this hook sword type of weapon, fully painted. Then you got this big fisted blade, you know, that you see on like on the back of Raphael's belt. So, you know, we've seen these with all turtles, but that's because all those vintage turtles all came with a lot of those same weapons. But what's also really cool, we of course do get his more signature weapon, which is his nunchucks like this. So I love that, fully painted. These are a little stiff, but you can, you know, move them around a little bit, and they're pretty pliable, so they feel nice. But again, I just love the fact that they're painted, so you get two versions of those like that. But of course, like I showed on the back of the figure right here, you do get ones with actual metal chain, which I'm always happy about. So these are the ones he's definitely going to be displayed with. I think any action figure for a collector, when having any type of nunchuck or something like that, should use actual metal chain. That's a win for me, so I love that. Well, we also do get some bonus things here. Like we get this turtle grapple hook like that. I do think it's awesome on a real string. That is such a cool accessory, because we used to see them use that a lot on like the vintage cartoon. So I think that's really cool. Of course, we do get some little ninja stars, some little shurikens like that. But just so much stuff, man. But what I do like, we also do get this box of pizza, and it just says pizza on there. The one thing that sucks, it doesn't open and close, so it's like permanently open like that. and there's only one slice of pizza in there, man, with like a little pepperoni in there. So, but I also love how there's like cheese stuck to the top of the lid. I think that's genius. The paint looks really good. So they totally tore this up. I do kind of wish it would have had some like funky toppings instead of just the pepperoni pizza, like I don't know, gummy bears and sausage or something like that. They always did weird stuff like that, so I always thought that was funny. But still, gotta have a pizza box with Mikey. Again, just love the cheese on the top. I think that's pretty rad. And then we also do get a second head sculpt. This is one thing I've been really liking about these toys, is that we get a head sculpt to be like the vintage figures, and then they'll give us a more modern head sculpt. So you have this one right here where he's like open smile. You can kind of see his tongue in there. You know, the more definition in the brow, the eyes, more expression. So I love them. I love the fact that we have the option to do so, where you can have, again, more vintage style or more modern style, whatever you want to do. Giving us options is always fun, and I appreciate it. And I think that's really, really rad. And of course, the last thing we get is going to be that weapons rack that we've seen with a lot of the other figures, or every other figure in this line, I should say, where they're all done in that singular tone color, which I think is awesome. Again, like the vintage toys, they all had those singular tone colors. They weren't fully painted. So you can go ahead and cut these off if you want to, like the orangish brown nunchucks and all the different weapons. But for me, I like keeping these on the racks because I like to display them with the racks like that next to them. So I just love the options of doing so. Super 7 kills it with this. This makes it for me, man. I love that. So this is really fun, man. You get a lot of good stuff against a lot of stuff we've seen before with all the other turtles, but that's accurate to the vintage line. But things like updated nunchucks with real metal chain, all about that, and I think it's totally fun. All right, so now let's go ahead and run down articulation here. So the head is on a ball joint, rolls around a good amount. You're gonna get left and right, up and down a tiny bit, and a little bit of head pivoting. Arms go full 360, up and out that far, rotation at the biceps, single bend at the elbow right there. Rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a articulation, almost like a ball peg under the shell here, and you can kind of see it roll around. It's gonna get turned left and right, crunch a little bit, pivot a little bit, not a whole ton, but it is there. Hips can kick forward and up that far, down, back that much, out to the side all the way. Rotation in that upper thigh, like so. Single bend at the knee, as well as rotation at the knee. Ankles go up, down, very far, and a sweet ankle rocker. I will say on this one, much like the other turtles, the hips do feel fairly loose still. Not terrible, but they do feel a little loose still, man. That's something I hope. Like, this is a third wave right now, and this kind of thing should be fixed. They should be feeling a little bit tighter. They're not as loosey-goosey as I've seen them in the past, but I could tell they are not as tight as they should be, so you might have a little problems standing them up. And same thing with like the belt here. This was kind of a pain in the butt to get these in. The material of the belt is a little stretchy and a little pliable, and you can see I'll pull them out right here, but it's not as nicely fitting as I would prefer. I mean, I guess they'll hold on there. Like, oh my goodness, I'm really trying to get that out there like that. So you just see me like struggle. There we go. Woo. So we get that out there. Really gonna twist and pull. There we go. Okay, success. So I got it out, and then you can put it in his hands like so, man. So I just love this, dude. You know, it does have its problems. All of these toys, these Ultimate toys do have their problems here and there. But overall, dude, I just think they're so cool still. I do hope Super 7 makes improvements over time as these toys can go more. I want them to go really deep with this toy line and just give us everything I would love in certain variants. I know we're getting like the Samurai Leo in an upcoming wave. I'm hoping for the sewer surfing Michelangelo, the undercover Donnie, Space Cadet Raph, and like maybe even like the storage shell turtles. You know, those were some of my favorites. But still, man, look at this guy. He just looks awesome. I am so happy I picked him up. And in my opinion, he is definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and McFarlane Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the vintage Michelangelo figure from Playmates. And for even more comparison, here he is standing next to the TMNT Ultimates Leonardo and Raphael, also from Super 7. And for even more comparison, here he is standing next to the Metalhead figure from this wave that I've already previously reviewed. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Ultimates Michelangelo. Now, the only negative thing I'm going to say is going to be the loose joints here. They're not terrible on mine, but I have seen some that are pretty bad from other people. That's going to be a hindrance when certain poses that you're trying to strike, and I could really see that being even worse for other people. So that is, again, something that I've seen across the board with these that I hope Super7 really fixes, man, because these figures are so awesome. I absolutely love this figure. It's such a cool throwback to the vintage one that I loved as a kid, and I can appreciate it even more now as an adult. The sculpt is awesome. The front and back shells are so detailed. I love the fact that we get a vintage head and a more modern smiling head. I think is really cool. I love all the interchangeable parts, and the fact that we get different versions of nunchucks, like ones with actual metal chain, is so cool to me. I mean, man, I love this guy, and I cannot wait to get Donatello so we complete the core team. I'm so excited about this entire line. I'm getting every last one of them. I'm super happy with this. Again, if the tight joints, or the loose joints, excuse me, don't bother you as much, again, mine aren't terrible. So I think you'll absolutely love this piece, man. He's so awesome, a fantastic piece to add to your collection, and definitely a must get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.